right shot center, Matthew Poitras, has been the breakout prospect of training camp. And Fluto says the headline to his story is Bruins preseason depth chart, Matthew Poitras' case as the number 2 center. I go, oh, that gave me a little shot of Bruins endorphins there.
Have you seen any video of this kid?
Just that goal last night.
Okay, he can handle the puck. He can handle the puck.
So he is a playmaking right shot center. He's 19 years old. Mm-hmm. He only weighs 176 pounds. And he's not eligible to be sent to Providence because he's a junior kid. So there's only 2 options with these guys, the NHL or the juniors. You can bring them up here for a 9-game, sort of sample, if you will. And then after 9 games, you have to decide whether he's here or he's back in the OHL or wherever he plays.
It's Tyler Seguin all over again.
Poitras. Boy, do the Bruins need this as badly as they've ever needed this. Boy, do they need this. They need a breakout prospect because they haven't had one in forever. And they desperately, desperately need a number 2 center. So talk about maybe the Bruins guys are just wishing this or willing this to happen because it's such a glaring need. Boy, do they need young talent. Boy, do they need a young center. Boy, and I think their number 1 need is to find a number 2 center so Charlie Coyle can play third-line minutes, which is all that he is.
You don't want to watch more Forbort this year? Or
Well, that's a defense. That's the
Danton
decor.
Heinen, but I'm just saying, just these guys that we know, they could use a guy like this just for, I think just for
buzz.
Buzz and entertainment's sake. All these to bring back.
So you're worried about fun. I'm worried about actual winning games and making the playoffs and that thing.
He looks quick and he can handle the puck.
I barely watched him. I watched that clip last night. Otherwise, I'm just taking that word and saying they have a breakout prospect. Since when?
Right.
And it wasn't the guy anyone was expecting. Fabian Lysell and the Laurie kid on defense. They have a couple of guys that are coming, but the Bruins are ranked dead last in system rankings in terms of prospects and draft. You look at the analysis of systems around the NHL. The Bruins are dead last or second to last year after year. I can't tell you the last time they had a quote unquote breakout prospect. And Fluto says, put him on the second line, which I agree. This is what I said. I said, find me a center with some offensive skill, and he may not be a two-way guy. I doubt that he would be, but just find me an offensive guy to give him quote-unquote second line time so Charlie Coyle can stay on your third line, because that's a sweet spot for Coyle. We know it by now. He's not a top 6 forward. He's a good third line center, but as a top 6 center, it's not happening. So if you can find a guy, an offensive guy for those second line minutes, as a 19-year-old, 176-pound kid, I don't know.
I mean, he's been the talk of these preseason games on Twitter anytime that they play. I haven't seen much. Where's Beecher? Or even you mentioned.
No, Beecher's actually played okay too.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll probably be your 4th line center.
Well, so here's what Fluto has: Zacha, Pasternak, Van Riemsdyk is your first line.
They scored a goal last night.
Patra, DeBrusk, Marchand is your second line. Charlie Coyle with Frederick. That's that pairing. It's, they've developed a little something with Jesper Boquist, the winger that you signed in the offseason.
I have no idea who that guy is, but go ahead.
Okay. And then where was he last year? Jersey? No.
Jersey.
He wasn't Jersey. Okay. He's an NHL guy, bottom line, bottom 6 NHL kind of floater.
They usually do okay identifying those guys.
And then the bottom is Lucic, Morgan Geeky, and Lacko.
Oh, that ought to be good.
Okay, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. But just, they have a breakout prospect? Huh.
Poitras. I like Poitras, but Poitras.
A breakout prospect. And Stu told me that Ty Anderson tweeted out his perspective lines.
I saw this.
Very proud of you, Mazz. Thank you. I'm glad.
I had him on the first line.
I was just trying to fill the dead air, Mike. As you flip through your phone.
Because Stu did...
pretty much the same lines you just read off with Fluto. It's just he has Marchand on the first line and Pasternak on the second line.
Right, so he calls the Marchand-Poitras line the first line versus the second line. Either it's the same thing. That's what they should be doing. I thought it might be this geeky guy from Seattle. I don't care. Coyle on the third line. It's a big thing for me. If you have Coyle on the third line, you're ahead of the game. That's good. And I'd take a little less at that second center spot. If he hurts offensively or whatever, I'd take a little less there just to spread out your lineup. And I think that's important.
This kid might pop early because the Bruins have kind of a softish schedule to open up those first 9 games with the exception of the Kings. So you might see this kid do some things in the regular season to make the choice actually really difficult, which it shouldn't be. He should stay on the NHL roster rather than send him back to juniors.
So I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
Because he's not ready.
Because he's 5'10", he's a $170. He's going to get beat up at the NHL level.
A little guy. And if he's not ready, there's no point in doing it. But if he's ready, like
put him
that's
on the squad.
That's just what the doctor ordered. But I'm not a believer in rushing guys or just put him up there to put him up there. If he's not ready, he's not ready. But if he's ready, boy, talk about just what the doctor ordered. A breakout prospect at center? Like, don't tell me they backed into a guy.
They backed into a guy, Mike.
Second round pick
Hey, whatever. Like, again.
from a team and a guy, Don Sweeney, who can't draft.
Backed into him.
All of a sudden, you got a breakout prospect at center.
Hey, sometimes, look, that's how it can happen.
Yeah, blind squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I don't care how it happened, as long as it happened.